Hey y'all, welcome back. I want to talk to you a little bit about the idea that what we do and decide is possibly far more a product of our disposition, our character, and our mood than all of the analysis that we might do. So I came up with this hypothesis recently. I've had a lot of frustration about some of the things that I've been thinking a lot about, largely because I've thought a lot about them and some of them don't come to very actionable conclusions. In that case, maybe I'm right. There's nothing to do, there's nothing to do about it, no big deal. But in the cases where we put in a lot of effort and we're coming to a conclusion that we should do something or make a decision, but we don't follow through, we don't make that decision, we don't take that action, then there's a different kind of frustration that started to arise for me. And so I would rehash the details. I would think, well, maybe I'm not convinced. I'll go over the details again. Okay, yeah, the input data is good, the analysis is good, I'm checking with other people, the conclusions are good, this is strong, this is clearly what I should do, this is the action I should take, this is the decision I should take, but I'm not doing it. What's the deal? Am I just weak? Do I just have no discipline and willpower? Possibly, but maybe there's also something else going on. So then I was talking to some people that I've known for a while, and I recognized that there's some patterns that play out for us. For me personally, I was looking at things like the amount of time it takes for me to sort of get bored and disappointed with a place that I'm living or a new job. And I was noticing some patterns in some of these people that I've known for a long time as well, where we've made supposedly big life changes and big life decisions, but we end up feeling the same way as we did before we made the change or the decision. So I guess I'm welcoming you to notice this potential, vector or category of potential real effects on the way that you're able to choose and act and work and change in your life. Welcoming us to notice our patterns and make sure that we consider all sorts of angles when we're trying to figure out not just what to do, but then how to actually execute and get the thing done. You know, it's important to remember that our direct experience is to some extent unarguably real, but thereafter is interpretation. And the things that we think in our mind might not qualify quite as real as just the direct experience itself. That's a different medium. It allows us to build models and do many very powerful things. But there's a question of that power, right? How much does that power actually contribute to our ability to make decisions? In some cases, it might be great. It might be very easy for us. For some people, those logical conclusions might most of the time or all the time help dictate people's decisions. Some people might not get a lot from that. They might be what we would call impulsive or irrational, and they act quickly, and maybe that's because they're not thinking. And then maybe there's a case, and maybe this applies to me to some extent, where we can think a lot, right? Overthinking, analysis by paralysis, perfectionism. There's lots of facets we could consider here. Where we do think, we do come to conclusions, and we don't, or it takes us a very long time to actually make that change. This isn't to say don't find good data, don't analyze, don't try to figure out reality. Reality is still certainly number one, but rather it's a comment on what might be a deeper piece of reality and what's at play, contributing to the choices and actions we take or inaction itself. So then roughly the hypothesis is something like, for some of these things, no matter how much I think about them, what I do or don't do might largely be a product of my disposition towards action. So that led me to thinking about sort of disposition and that was sort of a mood disposition, a felt sense, interpretation of the state of affairs and how we feel about things. But that led me to thinking about our orientation toward action and whether we have particular dispositions toward action. Some people might go ahead and dive in. They might be optimists, they might be reckless. Some people might do the exact opposite and be very reluctant. They dig their heels in, they're afraid, they're insecure. These would be a disposition or orientation towards action or inaction, as the case may be.